Brittany. Welcome to my kitchen. So today we are going to be making red wine braised pork ribs in the slow cooker. I'm going to be serving it over polenta, and I'm going to be serving the pork ribs whole. Another thing that you can do with this, if you have leftovers, you can shred the meat off the bone, and then you can use the sauce and put it over pasta, so you can serve it as an Italian dish, and I think it's called a guazzetto. I could be saying that completely wrong, I'm not sure. But anyway, keep watching.
Okay, so the ingredients are, I'm using pork loin back ribs. If you can find short ribs, that would probably be better, but this is the option that I have here in Taiwan. Some stock. Today I'm using chicken stock. Some tomato paste. Some red wine. Only use a red wine that you drink. Salt, pepper. I'm using some bay leaves. Some crushed red chili flakes. Some ground thyme. Some paprika. Some oregano. And carrots, onion, garlic, and celery. So let's get started.
Okay, so the first thing we're just going to do is get some olive oil down in a pan and get the pan nice and hot. Probably using a Dutch oven or anything cast iron would be better, but this is really the only option I have. And then you're going to put your ribs down because you want to sear them. I cut my ribs into 3 pieces so they would fit. I'm going to add a nice amount of salt and pepper. Okay, so I'm just going to sear these on one side and then I'm going to flip them over. Okay, I'm going to flip these bad boys over. Let the other side go. Time for me to remove these from the pan. They're nice and seared. Just going to lock in all their juices and just put them aside for now. So the pan is nice and hot. Leave all the fat in there, leave everything in there, and I'm going to put in the celery, the carrots, the onion, and the garlic. I'll put all the measurements below in the description box. You just want about, in total, about 2 cups of aromatics. Okay, maybe turn the heat down a little bit, and I'm going to let these saute for a couple of minutes just so they get nice and brown, so I'll be back. Okay, so I let this go for about 4 minutes, and now I'm going to add some of my spices. So I'm going to add some salt and pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of thyme. This is all about, like 1/4 teaspoon each. I'm going to add some paprika. That's probably about a 1/2 teaspoon. Some oregano. Some pepperoncino, crushed red chili flakes. I like it a little hot, so I'm going to, add a decent amount. And I'm going to add 2 bay leaves. And now I'm going to add some tomato paste. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I'm going to mix this in with the vegetables and let everything caramelize probably for about 3 more minutes. So everything's getting nice and crispy. And now what I'm going to do is pour in a little bit of acid. So I'm just choosing a tiny bit of vinegar, probably about maybe just like a teaspoon or a tablespoon. And I'm just going to deglaze. That's just going to bring a little bit of acidity into the dish. You can use any kind of vinegar you have, red wine vinegar, rice vinegar. And now I'm going to add the red wine. So I'm going to add about a cup of red wine. And that is also going to deglaze, and you're going to see the wine begin to evaporate. Just get everything up from the bottom. Get nice and thick. And then last, I'm going to add about 2 cups of broth. Okay, I'm going to give this a little bit of a boil, and then I'm going to transfer everything into the slow cooker. Okay, the next thing is I'm going to add the ribs and the sauce into the slow cooker. I don't have a great angle on here, but I'll try to show you as much as I can. Okay, so I'm just going to put the ribs on in there. Any of the juices that came out. And then I'm going to add the braising liquid. Okay. I'm going to lift it up, make sure that the braising liquid gets underneath all the ribs. Okay. And I'm going to add a little bit more water. Okay, so let me try to show you what that looks like. Okay, looks great. And I tasted the sauce, even though it's not cooked. I tasted it before I put it in with the meat, just to make sure that it was well seasoned with salt and pepper. And it's ready to go. So I'm going to put it on low heat, and I'm going to braise it for quite a few hours. I will let you know how long it takes when I'm finished. And I might have to add more liquid. You have to just go back and forth and check every couple hours, make sure that it doesn't need more liquid. If it does, you can add more broth or more water. It's really up to you, because the sauce is going to really condense in flavors. So I will be back. See you later. Okay, so it's been cooking for about 4.5 hours, and I just want to show you that it is done. Actually, the bones are almost coming off. 2 of the bones came completely off, so the meat is completely broken down, as you can see, and the sauce is nice and thick. What I'm going to do probably, because I don't want the meat to fall apart, I'm going to remove the ribs. I took out the bay leaf, and I skimmed the fat off. So I'm going to remove the ribs, and then I'm probably just going to reduce the sauce for a while. That way it becomes nice and thick, but, you know, the ribs don't overcook, because at this point they're just falling off the bone, and they're really tender. But for tonight, I want to keep the bones on, because I'm going to serve it over polenta. So I will see you later. Goodbye. Okay, I also wanted to show you, I removed the pork ribs. They look great, huh? And I put the sauce separate into this pot on the stove, and I have some carrots still in here that never broke down, so I'm just taking a potato masher and I'm mashing the carrots down, and I'm going to let the sauce reduce probably for about 20 minutes, just so it gets nice and thick. So I will see you back for the plating. Okay, so our dish is finished, and I'm going to give it a taste for you. I put it over a bed of polenta. So here goes. It just falls off the bone, if you can see that. And I put some sauce on top. It's very hot. It's awesome. Very, very good. Really good. You can taste the wine. It's completely reduced down, and the spices really, really help it. This is an awesome dish, and it's super easy. You just throw it together, put it in a slow cooker, and it's done. So I hope you give it a try. If you do, please let me know how it turns out, and please subscribe. So take care. Bye.